Donald Trump faces growing embarrassment as MAGA culture crumbles before our eyes. We've already discussed how U.S. Olympic athletes are publicly criticizing Trump administration policies. But there's a deeper story unfolding here. What began as misguided righteous indignation, focused on school board battles, gender issues, and promises that Trump would fix everything, has devolved into a complete laughingstock. MAGA has lost its cultural relevance and now exists only as a fringe movement screaming about women's sports, obsessing over the Mar-a-Lago face, a plastic surgery trend where women at Mar-a-Lago all look identical, and defending the Epstein files. This represents a dramatic sea change in American politics, the cultural shift. Just a year ago, the right appeared to be gaining serious cultural momentum. Sports celebrations, influencer spaces, and podcasts like Joe Rogan and Andrew Schultz, while not explicitly political, leaned culturally right and helped elect Trump. Young men believed supporting Trump carried no social cost. Many are now discovering they can't get dates once women learn they voted for him. Trump wasn't just politically viable. He was culturally normalized in spaces that previously rejected him. That momentum has cracked spectacularly fast. The Super Bowl perfectly symbolizes this collapse. Trump didn't attend, claiming the distance was too far. The real reason: his fragile ego couldn't handle being booed loudly on camera before the entire world. Meanwhile, the right's attempted counter-programming with Kid Rock imploded completely and was laughed off the stage. Why culture matters. Culture isn't just aesthetics, it creates permission structures. When athletes performed the Trump dance, UFC fighters handed Trump their belts, and celebrities embraced him. It signaled to young people that supporting Trump had no cost and maybe even offered upside. That's almost completely disappeared now. Some athletes who supported Trump have apologized. Others are now being mocked for it. Over the past 24 months, we've witnessed backlash in spaces that historically avoided overt politics, sports leagues, Olympic venues, music awards, and wrestling crowds. These social signaling spaces initially stayed neutral, then leaned Trumpy, and now are shifting away again. The uncomfortable reality: the right believed it stood on the verge of cultural dominance, that American pop culture was finally breaking their way. Now we're seeing a complete reversion, largely because people realize Trump sold them a bill of goods he can't deliver. But here's the darker truth: Trump doesn't care about democracy. This cultural collapse may not change much in the short term because MAGA already served its primary purpose, getting Trump elected. Once executive power is secured, cultural popularity matters far less. Trump's ego still suffers. He can't even attend the Super Bowl without risking brutal booing. But beyond that, his support could drop dramatically without changing policy direction. This administration is laser focused on pushing through its agenda. By some reports, about half of Project 2025 has already been implemented. With midterms looking potentially rough, the strategy becomes front-load major policy moves, make structural changes, and manipulate elections however possible. What this means going forward: none of this means MAGA disappears or that Republicans can't win elections. Culture and voting trends move in similar directions but don't sync perfectly. However, something fundamental has shifted. History shows that when you lose cultural momentum, it eventually manifests politically. It's a leading indicator. For decades, the right argued culture was stacked against them. For one brief moment, it looked like that was flipping. Now, 18 to 24 months later, they're back to having a parallel culture that polite society views as embarrassing and cringe. This isn't about Trump having no supporters. It's that supporting Trump went from socially neutral or even positive to socially costly. Once that shift happens, it's incredibly difficult to reverse. The opportunity: this is a critically important moment. We're witnessing not only a rapid reversal, but also an opportunity to convert anti-Trump cultural momentum into political action through November voting. Political power can endure if you keep winning elections, but cultural influence can evaporate quickly and take all that political power with it.